Well, she has to make a Twitch account then.
Hello. Welcome to the first episode of the second season of the Jake and Josh podcast. It's 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 been a long time coming, huh? Uh, we were in my closet and we had a Kyle Promeyer on and Tristan Dunn on as guests. Uh, yeah, and I didn't invite. Joe has currently not been invited back yet, but Tristan and Kyle are both on the waiting list to be guests on this podcast. So just a little, yeah, just kind of give a rundown of the podcast and its structure. Um, Currently, it's always going to start off with Jake and I for a good portion, and every episode we're going to end with a guest. This first one's going to be a little less structured because it's the first week. Yeah, yeah. Well, next week and the week after, we pretty much already have them planned out. So the first one's going to be a little messy, but it's just going to get better as going on. To announce it first, our guest today is the James Doto. He's a good friend of ours from back home in Tampa, Florida. So yeah, he has a man of many talents, man of many names. But yeah, back to the format. We're streaming on Twitch currently. This will also be uploaded to our YouTube. What's our YouTube, Jake? Very easy to remember. Um, and while we are currently on Twitch, we will be taking any to get chat interaction. As we see, Kyle Promeyer is in the chat already. We love to see that. It's good to see. I've missed the man. He is all like I said. He's also signed up to be a guest on future episodes, which is good to know. One second, I'm having a don't Kyle, don't listen to him. You don't need to do anything for us. All right. So how do we want to start this off today? Um, Let me I'll be honest right here. I'm a huge advocate and a big fan of the app. Huge. I was bullied and harassed for using this app on a daily basis, and I mean honestly, look at the way it's take off. Oh, I just saw that. Oh, Jake is now audio is on.
Okay, you can hear me now. All right. Well, like I was saying, hey everybody, it's Jake, and might have been a rough start, but Kyle, like I was saying, for a $20 donation, that's all it takes to put your logo on this stream. So, you
uh,
name your price. There
Kyle,
we go.
don't listen to that. Yeah, it's good to have you back here.
Yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, uh,
TikTok.
today's culture, TikTok, and it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. I spend an hour before bed every night on this app.
I I honestly sometimes I check my screen time on my iPhone to check how much I
Hmm.
use it, and I feel ashamed. I spend
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
time
for
on the app.
sure.
It is it's right up there with Twitter as my most used app, like right next to
Yeah,
it, and
YouTube
YouTube.
has fallen off for me
Yeah,
as TikTok has gotten more popular.
I mean like it's really it's really transcended since it switched from musically. Like the
Yeah,
comedy is
but
just like unreal.
but the last few months have been crazy for it. I don't think anybody expected it to be as big as it is now, and
Mhm.
it's essentially Vine 2 at this point
Yeah,
because the
and
meme culture has taken over, and I think that was the pivotal point in TikTok's life right now was the
right.
meme culture.
Kind of
Because
switching
before,
from its like music, lip syncing, acting type thing to
yeah,
the meme era.
and
Definitely much better.
and it's funny too because like the whole perception of it now has totally changed.
Yeah.
It's no longer like I think people were almost like ashamed of saying that
Yeah.
they were using TikTok before, and
No,
like now it's
now
like
it's like
everybody at work like you go on TikTok, yup.
yeah, it's especially in like the high school crowd. Uh
Uh, Act Adventure, yeah, we've gotten that before.
yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely all the time.
We have a funny picture of us with our heads
I wish
posted over
you
there.
should try to find it and put it up.
I can I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up a little bit.
Yeah, try to find it. But yeah,
Uh,
TikTok's been huge. I have some merch. I even have
yeah.
a
Oh,
hat.
I got some merch.
I have a
I got some
tee.
merch too. I can pull up real quick.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, and I think it getting so big currently is like honestly such a big punch in the face to Bite, which is theoretically Vine too. Oh,
yeah,
awesome. Good to have you
and
here.
I've been following Byte for almost what feels like 2 years now. And for those who don't know, Byte is essentially Vine 2. It's made by the creator of Vine, who ended up selling his app to Twitter, who shut it down.
Yeah, interesting.
And I've been following this guy on Twitter for 2 years now, and the app just dropped 2 weeks ago. And I mean, what do you think about Byte?
I mean, it just and that's the problem. TikTok is really taken over like my meme space, right?
Hmm.
I'm not switching. Like I have no reason to.
Exactly.
Like and Bite, honestly, I don't really like their user interface that much. It's kind of like clunky. It's kind of like a lot.
It's super clunky. And what I think really pushed TikTok to what's essentially bigger than Vine probably ever was at this point
Oh yeah, absolutely.
is that the tools that they give these creators, like there's a full editing system that Vine never had.
Oh yeah.
And I guess Vine did have that rawness to it
Yeah, which
that
was
some
always
people
cool,
probably,
but
yeah, there's
also like
probably a few voice cracks here, boy, sorry.
yeah, the that voice crack. But also like kind of in the like as Vine was getting like near its end life, people were just making their videos and editing them on their own and uploading it. Well, I
Hmm.
think almost like probably like 80% use the in-house like editing with TikTok, which I think
Well,
is
it's
really cool.
also this is exactly what they want is that you're right. Vine, you could record a video with your phone and upload it later. TikTok, um, they really enable and they really want you to record in their app
Mhm.
because the whole process from recording to upload is all done in the app now. There's no reason to do it in just your normal camera app.
No, no,
And it's a
absolutely.
smart marketing choice by them too.
Also, I think a big thing about TikTok, which I think is better, is the For You page, right? Like
Hmm.
TikTok's uh, or even like Vine and Bytes, like kind of
It was just
popular
popular.
page, was
Yeah.
never nearly as good. Like I on TikTok, I'm never on my followers section of it. I'm always on the For You page.
Yeah, same. Like even like YouTube, I'm never looking at my subscriber page anymore. I'm always
Mhm.
on my home page, my recommended, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what TikTok has basically perfected is every video I
Yeah.
see on my feed, it's almost like I'm always liking it.
Yeah. I that's why I think it's phenomenal. So I guess
Yeah.
that's enough about TikTok for now.
Sure, yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit of modern news. Just a little
Mhm.
today's news story. Andrew Yang,
Mhm.
fill him in, fill him in.
Yeah. I mean, as of 9 p.m. right now, he has officially dropped out of the presidential race half an hour ago.
Which is actually
Uh,
it's kind of crazy
it's kind of surprising just because
because he wasn't a front runner by any means.
yeah, but he was his popularity was growing, and if you
No,
look
yeah.
at his Twitter, he's always been like a super positive person,
And
and
it's
I
kind of crazy to see him drop out before the end, right?
yeah. Do you follow Ethan Klein from H3H3?
Oh, absolutely. Real big inspiration for me.
So I don't know if you've seen, but like he's been a super big advocate for Yang, and
Right.
that's how basically everything I know about Yang is from Ethan, just
Right.
because he's always tweeting and having him on his podcast and stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
a little surprised to see that he dropped out
Mhm.
already,
While I didn't
considering that.
agree, oh, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna nothing. You can
No,
go ahead.
but I was saying, well, I didn't agree with
Yeah,
most
half
of,
an hour ago, Tom.
yeah, well, I didn't agree with most of his policies, and I didn't think they would be practical. He seemed like a really nice guy, so it's
Yeah,
upsetting to see him
I
drop
mean,
out so
I
early.
mean, like I was telling you before this podcast started, my favorite political meme of the last year has been Yang. Everybody gets $1,000 a month. Landlords, all right, rent's going up $1,000 a month. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
I didn't think that was like,
it's
yeah,
just inflation was
yeah,
pretty obvious. Oh yeah,
yeah, I didn't
and
think
yeah,
that
of
was too
course his
practical.
cringe merch to Math 2020, and then just the weed logo.
He's really
I mean, he's
he was really trying to get in with the young crowd, and I think just Bernie did it
yeah.
better. Honestly, I don't know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but
That's because Yang was trying to make memes, and Bernie is the meme. That makes sense.
yeah,
Which I
yeah.
mean, obviously, people can spot, whether that's natural or not,
Hmm.
considering that meme culture is culture basically now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a huge fan of that. So
Yeah,
I like
no, for sure.
I'm a big fan of this Gen Z generation, frankly.
Yeah, anything less force is always better. So,
Yeah. All right. Nextly,
I mean, we can talk about video games. It's no secret that me and you are video game enthusiasts.
absolutely.
And so,
What are you playing
I was gonna,
currently?
I've, I'm not ashamed to say it, but I have
Say
been
it.
back into Smash Ultimate.
Oh, you nerd, dude.
I have been playing like an hour a day,
Okay.
and uh, a mutual friend has just told me that there's a new Ultimate tournament happening on Thursdays, which I can't attend.
You can attend.
And there was 90 people at the
Really?
last week's.
That's
Yep,
crazy.
90 people, and he plays 13th. So I think I might have to get into some
Ooh.
Ultimate competition.
Are you better than him?
I have never played him yet, but I'm
Okay.
going to probably this
Okay, that's
weekend.
awesome, dude.
Yeah, but apparently the number one seed is a Rob main, so that'll be interesting.
Cringe. I hate Rob, honestly.
Yeah.
Currently, I play, of course, I play a lot of Super Smash Bros. Melee, the superior game. Also, I just bought Red Dead Redemption 2 the other day.
Oh, interesting. I
Just
never
started
played him.
playing it. I kind of wanted, something like slow, just to kind
Hmm.
of chill and unwind with.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's coming out? A lot of new games coming out.
I mean, if we're talking Nintendo, right now, next month is Animal Crossing. I've never owned an Animal Crossing
I
title.
haven't either.
Played it before. I played it, but
I
I got a good feeling that it's gonna suck a lot of time out of my life.
I've only heard good things about Animal Crossing. Only heard
Yeah,
good
for
things.
sure.
I mean, I
It's
have
ba-
like two good friends of mine that both like religiously play that game.
it's
And
Nintendo Sims basically on
like
steroids. So,
right. I mean, honestly, the Animal Crossing Switch, that is a
hmm,
work of art. I'll just pull up a picture of it cuz
it's so good looking. It really
uh,
is.
I think it's literally like it's a work of art. Um
Yeah.
oh,
Tom says to read the chat, but there's.
rechat.
I mean,
We're
we answered your question, Tom. He did drop. Yeah. I don't know what else there is to say.
yeah, but
Oh, that is a good looking Switch,
like
dude.
it's literally
Yeah, those
it's
pastel colors.
stunning. Like I love it so much.
Hmm.
But nonetheless, I don't know if I'll be buying it. I don't know if I have the funds for it, at least currently. But I'm definitely gonna try it out.
I know there's some rumors that they might drop the Joy-Cons by themselves. Apparently, they did that in Japan with Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. So
Okay.
I've never
Yeah.
played Fire Emblem
Yeah.
DH.
Uh, DH Luigi, my roommate,
Okay, yeah.
loves Fire Emblem. Big fan. I've never played it
I
as
my
well, but
one of my best friends, Matt, picked up is it Three Houses, and he said it's one of his favorite games that's launched on Switch. So
yeah.
it's no surprise that it's definitely becoming big in the West.
Yeah, DH was definitely destroying that game when it first came out.
Hmm.
But if they drop the Joy-Cons on their own, I'm in there.
Hmm.
I think those are probably the best looking Joy-Con Switches ever.
Yeah,
Like that's
they're really
honestly
good.
so good looking. Also, speaking of Nintendo,
Hmm.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Just about to ask you that.
Right.
Did you play the originals,
I played back on Game
Red or
Boy.
Blue?
I played
Yeah, so
Game
you had
Boy.
Red.
Yeah, I had yeah, that is right.
And I had
Um
Blue Team on DS. That was the
yeah.
first game I ever had on my Nintendo DS. So.
And I did play on DS as well. It's a blast. It's really casual. It's like really kind of easy.
Hmm.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I enjoy that like so much. So, um
yeah. I'm always down. I kind of do wish it would be a new game and not a remake, but I
yeah.
mean,
But I mean,
it's gonna sell either way.
it's Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and it's
Like
Pokemon, so it's definitely gonna sell
it's
well.
a double hitter, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Yeah, for sure.
I mean I love Pokemon. I eat up Nintendo anything they really come out with.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
currently playing through Luigi's Mansion. It's been
I
fun.
haven't played that yet.
Just like a nice little casual game too.
Yeah, I've heard a
And
lot of good things about that too.
mhm. Let's move on to food. Uh,
Sure,
let's just talk about it. Like,
sure.
what do you eat nowadays?
I mean,
Walk me through your meal schedule.
I've been back on a Taco Tuesday, the grind.
Tijuana
Every,
Flats?
I've been about 6 weeks in a row right now. Yeah, Tijuana
Okay.
Flats. It's cheap. It's greasy.
Yeah.
Boys go. I'm trying to. Apparently, they do $2 beers if you go before 7,
Oh,
which I
really?
never have
It's a
been
deal and a
before.
half.
So next week we're trying to get $2 runners. Just trying not to catch no diseases, you know.
Speaking
And
of, I hear there's been more outbreaks.
yeah, that's a little scary. I really
Mhm.
don't know much about it.
I don't
I
either.
did see that there apparently is a link to an animal, and it's let me just Google how to even pronounce this. It's
Yeah.
basically like oh, I'll look it up right now.
Okay. But yeah, while you look that up,
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about some of my food adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my roommate DH Luigi, we eat a lot of food, and we like to cook it all too. We don't really go out to eat
Mm-hmm.
too often. Um,
Yeah,
Lately in
good.
recent developments, we've been kind of getting dabbling in breakfast. Usually we'd cook dinner every single night, something different, but
Mm-hmm.
been getting into
Oh, and
breakfast.
the animal that I was referring to was the pangolin. It's basically like
Never heard of it in my life.
if you Google it, it's basically
How do
like
you
an oversized hedgehog almost, or it's like a
pangolin? Pang.
Pangolen or Olin.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
basically
okay.
like
Okay.
yeah. So I guess
Thank you.
those have been linked to the host of the disease. So
Interesting. Are
we're
they
getting
local
yeah,
to? Or are they local
guessing
to?
Asia. I've seen them in
Yeah.
zoos. They're
Interesting.
like anteaters, but like with armor.
Yeah. Interesting. That's really interesting, actually.
So yeah, I mean they know the host of the disease now, so I'm guessing
That's gonna
they're gonna be
help
able
for
to do it a
sure.
lot now.
A lot more
Yeah, for sure.
testing and yeah.
Hmm.
So that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
breakfast.
like we were saying, I've been trying to get back into breakfast.
Mhm.
Well, back in would imply that I ever ate breakfast, and I
Yeah.
really never have.
Yeah. I never have
Because
either until recently.
I mean, I've been trying to bulk up,
Yeah,
so
I've seen you.
breakfast was definitely like a spot in my diet that I just wasn't eating at all, and that's easy
Mhm.
calories early in the morning. And I would say I've just never been hungry for breakfast, but now that I've been eating more in the mornings, I've been gaining a little bit of appetite in the morning.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this semester, I have classes at 8 a.m. every morning,
Hmm.
which is very unfortunate. But honestly,
Yeah,
like
that's awful.
it has been better for me. I've been a lot
Hmm.
more productive in the morning. And
Good.
like I said, I've been eating breakfast. So usually when I get back from class, because I only have one class at 8 a.m. So like I'm back at 9:30.
Yeah.
I've been making a lot of breakfast burritos. Been really good.
Hmm.
And
That sounds good.
recently, due to Tristan's recommendation, me
Hmm.
and Derek have been making overnight oats. Are you familiar with the concept?
You said that, and I had never heard of that before until you
Really?
told me that.
Okay. So, oh, and Wos, yes, James will be on within like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah. Go ahead and give
Um,
him a text.
I will. But yeah, overnight oats is basically like raw oats that you get in like the big like Quaker jar, and
Hmm.
you kind of put them in a mason jar with milk. Like that's like the base concept of it.
Yeah.
And overnight, like
In a
the
refrigerator, right?
yeah,
I'm
right,
assuming.
yeah, in the refrigerator. And overnight, the milk kind of like goes like it gets absorbed into the oats, and the oats are no
Yeah.
longer like crunchy or like
It's called.
weird
I think it's
tasting.
called osmosis, my guy.
I believe that's only with water, but I guess that could also be correct.
Freak.
But
Oh.
yeah, it's super good. So it's kind of almost like cold oatmeal, but it's a lot
Uh,
more like refreshing.
can you still hear me, my guy?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you
Technical difficulties, real quick.
why are you what's wrong? Can you hear me?
Real quick.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Uh,
Quality content.
let
Love it.
me.
Thank you, Kyle.
Can
It's
you hear
good to
me
have you.
now?
I've been able to hear you the whole time.
What did I do?
Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking about overnight oats while Jake is trying to fix stuff. Um, so like I said, it's just kind of milk and oats. Are you good? Are you
Hello.
back? Are you back? Hello, Jake?
What happened? I don't know what happened, Josh. If you can hear me,
I can hear you.
uh,
I'll
I
type in the
accidentally
chat.
turned Siri on via my AirPods, and now I can't hear you guys. But
Oh, I
maybe
don't
it's
have
just
I don't
me.
have
So I
Twitch.
have no clue.
Ah, someone type in
Let
chat
me
that I can hear Jake.
real quick
Someone
turn my.
type in chat that I can hear Jake and that we
Oh,
can
okay.
hear
I
it
can
too.
hear you now when I turn my AirPods off.
Okay, good.
Okay. Sorry
We've been
about the
able to
technical
hear
difficulty.
you. I've been able to hear you.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
thank
my
you.
fault.
Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, overnight oats, like I said, milk and raw
Hmm.
oats, and it kind of just is like a cold oatmeal that's refreshing. I just made
Yeah.
yesterday this recipe that Tristan gave me, which was like milk. Like I used vanilla almond milk, oats,
Mm-hmm.
as well as I put some peanut butter in there, some honey in
Yeah.
there, um, and
Is it
some banana. It was fantastic.
so? Is
It was
this
so
like
good.
wet, or is this like cold oatmeal
Yeah,
basically?
pretty much, but it's like good. It's almost like a I don't know if you've ever had chia seed pudding.
Who's this? Yes, I did.
Homie too.
Thank you, son.
Yeah, Jake has been on the workout
I'm on my grind.
grind. Yeah, let me text James real quick.
Yeah. Who is Tori 17?
That's Kyle.
Oh, Kyle Bab?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
what's up, Kyle? Yeah, I did. I am on my journey to gain some weight, my guy, and I have
And you've been
had
seeing a lot
found
of
some
success.
success.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
success.
I have.
And
Last summer it was about 130, and right now I'm about 152. So
that's huge. That's like actually insane.
yeah,
I saw that
it's actually
before and after pic you posted. That was
yeah. You
big.
like that?
That was awesome.
Thanks, dude. It's
All
actually
right.
like yeah.
I'm gonna
A lot of
add
people.
James. Well, you can just
Yeah,
use
go
that.
ahead. Throw him in. Throw him in. Yeah.
Um, whoops. Join call. Hello.
There we go. We all
Okay.
here?
Share camera. I don't know if James is here yet, but share
Okay.
camera, Jake.
Hello,
For sure.
hello.
Oh, what's up, bud?
Hey, welcome, James.
And
How's
our
it going,
first guest
guys?
of the season,
Welcome
James
to
Doto.
the Jake and Josh podcast.
Hey, it's
Um,
good to be here.
it's great to
Always
have you
wanted to
here.
be
Yeah,
on one
man.
of these things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
man.
primetime listener, first time guest.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. It's
Yeah,
really
bud.
good to have you. It's live on Twitch. I don't know if you knew that. So if you want to
I
pull
did
it up
see that.
and
Okay.
interact with the chat, you can always do that. Cause
Yeah,
who
just make
knows?
sure you mute your stream.
We have quite a few people in here, so there might be questions.
I
Um,
did
So,
see at peak viewership, we had like 9 viewers in the beginning. So
yeah, we're doing pretty good.
thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, for sure. I love the guy.
Yeah, me too. But James, like I said, it's great to have you on here. Let's talk about something we all have in common here:
Okay.
boys' night.
I'm ready.
Boys'
Boys'
night.
night.
Yeah.
Boys'
Um,
night. That is something we have in common.
so
Something we all
James,
love.
do you want to walk our viewers through boys' night over summer? Kind of what that is all about. Kind of what goes on.
Boys' night over summer. So, when Josh and when Jake are in town, and a couple of our other good friends are in town,
Hmm.
every week we host a tournament, usually located at Josh's house. He's got multiple setups and things, and we play a great game. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with Super Smash Bros. Melee,
I like to
which
Of
hear
is
it.
course.
kind of a staple in the friend group here.
Yep.
Second installment of Smash Bros. And by far the best. Sorry, Jake.
Hmm. No,
Um,
I completely agree.
Oh, that is good to know.
and
Of course, I
and
completely agree.
okay,
And how
hey,
old is
I
it?
didn't know that. It's coming up. We're coming up on 20 years. It came out
Yep.
November 2001, actually.
Yeah.
So
So we're coming up
Dang,
on
getting
20
that's
old.
years,
crazy.
But
and it's
anyway,
still relevant. It blows my mind to this
it is
day.
Yeah,
still
community's still
relevant.
huge.
And I actually have been going over. Sorry to get off track, but I just
No,
got to throw this out there. I have been rewatching um,
Anime.
the Melee Super Smash Bros. Melee anime. No, the documentary,
it's always
Yeah.
worth a rewatch. I've
and it's
watched it
always
many
worth a
times.
rewatch. And it's first of all, it's so fun to see how young these guys look.
Right.
All of
For sure. It is
the
fun.
guys that still play, but it's also fun to see. They'll show a couple clips here and there,
How bad
and
they were.
honestly, they're not even good.
Right?
Yeah,
They
no,
look
it is
like
funny.
our clips. They look like our
I
clips.
mean, it
Truly.
does, and there's still a lot of relevant people in that documentary that still are relevant now.
That's actually
Yep.
unbelievable. Like I know
Obviously,
Yeah,
Mango
they.
was huge in the coming
a
at
lot of
the end of that
longevity,
documentary. Yeah.
a lot of
Yep.
longevity
Mango,
in the Smash community.
M2K. I
Hmm.
mean, chillin' and stuff were
Right.
there. I mean,
Everyone's
chillin's not really
still
that relevant,
relative,
but
but I mean, everyone's still like
hugs.
top 100 from then is still
Yeah.
like top
Yeah.
100, which is crazy.
But
Hmm.
just if you pulled up a Mewtwo King video of like his most recent tournament, which I can't think of off the top of my head
I
what
think
it
it was
was.
the best recent tournament would be Big House, I believe.
Okay.
But
Yeah, you
continue.
pull that up versus some of the clips that are on that,
It's unbelievable.
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah,
so it
Like
just goes to show how far you can go into a game like that.
yeah, like
It's kind
yeah.
of cool. Kind of
like
cool to
I
see.
mean, there's an ever-changing meta in a game that's 20 years old.
yeah, which is actually like you'd think it would be like super stagnant by now, but literally new
Right.
stuff is discovered every day, and
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
certain characters that were irrelevant before are now
It only
insane.
gets better.
It's
It's
actually
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
thought it might die off of Ultimate. I was kind of scared, not like totally scared, but I
Yeah.
thought it might because
Yeah.
Ultimate was actually
I had some
a
concerns.
decent game
Right.
compared
Hmm.
to
Like
the
Smash
other,
4 Brawl. Right.
other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
James,
yeah.
talk
Listen.
about let's talk about work. You have
Yeah.
funny stories all the time. I always get good Snapchats
Hmm.
Yeah.
about
So
work.
I work in the recruiting field, and um, I work in the basically truck driving and warehouse staffing
Oh,
industry. It changed it up a little bit.
What
I
was it
didn't know
before?
that.
What was it before?
It was actually IT. Well, it's actually a little bit of everything, but we focused on IT staffing.
Hmm.
But the company that I worked for actually owns. They own multiple companies, but anyway, they own this other truck driver staffing company, and they moved me over to that and actually gave me a raise, so it was worth the trade off.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome.
Um, but it's actually a little trickier than the other one because there's so many rules and government regulations with truck driving because you can't
Hmm.
just throw anyone behind a wheel of a 53-foot trailer, obviously,
Right.
barreling down the highway. So, these guys got to go through all these tests and, physicals and drug tests and
Wow.
background
Yeah.
checks and a million other random things that you wouldn't think of. Um, so, I mean, I come across a lot of resumes, a lot of applications, and
And
So
it
when
makes sense not to talk down on this field of jobs, but some of
dude,
these
truck drivers
resumes
get
that
paid
you be
good, man.
they
Truck
make
drivers get
bank,
paid good.
they
but
make
the
money.
trade-off would be that they don't have an education, because some of these resumes that you are sending us from these people are just laughably bad.
Yeah.
They're bad.
And it's not to talk down on them, because you're right, they do make lots of money,
And
and what
also, I
they're
want to
doing
reference
isn't easy.
that the resumes that he sent when he was recruiting for like the computer field were also terrible. Like they
Yes.
were
Yeah,
also so bad.
that's just a reoccurring theme, I
Usually
guess,
the
is people don't
people
know how.
usually the people from the computer field, IT field are just one-offs that happen to somehow find our job. I don't really know
Right.
how they manage to search for our, high-level IT architect when they, are a girl at Dairy Queen or something. But anyway, it happens and they apply and you get some funny stuff. But
Yeah, do you,
obviously with
For
truck
yeah.
drivers are not known to be the most academic people ever. Um, so I mean, hey, they get paid more than I do, and
No, for
my
sure.
Yep.
resume looks perfect, and their resume looks like crap, and they make more money than
Hmm.
me. So I mean, really,
Right.
who's the
Who's
real
laughing?
winner?
Right. Now, do you
Yeah.
have
Have you
any
ever
Oh, continue, Jake.
go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you have any that come off the top that are like funny
The
and
funniest one, and what's your age rating on this
you
show?
can go for it. You can go for
Okay.
it.
The funniest one is this. This was not with truck driving, actually. This was back in my old job, but this girl, I assume, I don't know, she
Ooh,
submitted an application.
2020.
Yeah. And her email address was sexy wet wet 69 on her resume. I
That's
will never
what we like
forget
to
that
see.
because I printed out her resume and stapled it to my cube for a while because it was so funny.
That's
God,
actually
Um,
yeah.
hilarious.
Hired. Yeah, exactly, Kyle.
there's
It's a straight
another.
hire.
I think that's
Yeah, it
actually
was
so
great.
funny.
There was
Um,
another one. This wasn't actually directed at me, but my boss, and it was a truck driver who was really pissed at us for some reason. I don't know. This was before I
Hmm.
worked on that side of things, but my he sent a complaint to my boss that is actually framed on his wall because it's so funny. But he's called my boss is the Southern white boy, and they the truck driver got so mad he called him a ghetto piece of trash, a punk, and all this other random crap that doesn't even apply. And it was just the
right.
funniest thing I've ever seen.
I love that.
God, yeah.
And
That was
yeah,
somebody. That was just somebody who
a
you guys.
disgruntled truck driver. I don't know the
Uh-huh.
story behind it, but
That's funny. This kind of, I don't know, Jake, if you're familiar, but the funny email that he just read, whatever it was. Have you seen the person on TikTok that
Hmm.
goes in, like, CVS, they ask you for their email and stuff, and he
Hmm.
purposely gives them like really funny emails
I
like
haven't
that?
seen it, but I've done stuff similar.
It is actually like really quality content. Some of the emails they come up with are just like
Yeah.
it's golden. And it's funny to think
Uh,
that they're doing that as a joke, and man, James
it's
gets to
it's
yeah,
funny you
witness it.
mentioned that. it's
That
funny
actually
you
sounds
mentioned
like
that
decent
because
content on TikTok.
yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned that because you know how the Taco Bells they have like those screens that you can order now, kind of like
Right.
McDonald's.
Right.
Just this week, like 3 days ago, I went in with a few of my coworkers, and you put at the very end, you enter your name that they call out because they don't do numbers
Mhm.
at Taco Bell. And so, of course, I put Ben Dover, and the I feel bad because like the poor lady, she was obviously foreign, doesn't know a lot of English. She said that out loud, and I did get a kick out of it, and I also had it so that it texted me my receipt, and so Taco Bell actually like texted me oh, thank you, Ben, here's your order.
I love that so much.
Yeah, and I'll send you that
That's
after this. It is
that's
pretty
great.
funny.
That is actually
Hmm.
so
That's
funny.
great.
Like I was talking, I texted Jake Sunday. I play for like a club sport up at school. And a lot of people on my team are really oblivious to the really classic Joe
Nine viewers.
Mama, Joe Mama style
Hmm.
joke. You know the one. And this one kid on my team has been hitting everybody with them, and those really
Yeah,
crack me up.
those are super popular in my work. A lot of them are pretty dirty, and I'm not going to say them on stream, of course,
Yeah.
because we're going to keep it PG-13. But there are some really good ones, though,
The
even though that I've never heard before.
Yeah, they're honestly so funny. I also just want to take
Mm.
a second to tell our viewers, like, if you want to ask any questions, especially for James while we have him on here, you're always welcome to ask questions. We'll
We got
stop
9
and
viewers right
answer
now.
them.
That's a great for our first episode live, especially.
No, absolutely. So if you have any questions, you have any of us will stop and answer them.
Yeah, of course.
So just kind of, yeah. So James,
I
let's
have a
move on.
question.
Yes, please.
I have a
Sure.
question. It says, why does it say Jake and Josh Fridays? It's a Tuesday today.
You are. That's just the brand, baby. That's
Somewhat
just.
correct. Yeah,
The
that's the
brand.
brand.
That's the.
You don't.
It's the
You
brand.
can eat at TGI Fridays any day of the week, can't you?
Yes. Okay. Tom asked an NSFW question, but James, if you want to
And I
answer it,
I
you're more
would
than
answer
welcome.
that with a meme, but I'm not trying to embarrass anybody.
So,
But Tristan, if you're watching, anyway,
uh, James, if you want to answer that question, you're more than welcome to. You don't have
Can
to
I
though.
pass on that question?
yeah, we can pass
You
on
can
that.
pass on that question. Sorry,
We can
Willem. Of
pass
Josh
on
course,
knows
yes.
why. Josh knows why.
I am well aware why. Um, let's move on
Hey,
to.
you had socks on. It's not gay.
No, don't say that.
Anyway.
I'd rather it have been gay.
Oh my
Okay. Anyway.
god.
Anyway.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
most viewers ever. Austin, you're
this
right.
is huge. But James, let's talk about traveling. This is a main reason why we wanted you
Traveling.
on because
Yeah,
you
I
are
do
a
like that. I
world
do like that stuff.
traveler. Uh, Probably the person that travels the most in my friend group, except other than probably on par with my our friend Zena, which will be on the
Zena
podcast
is another
later.
traveler.
We'll be on the
Zena's
podcast
another good traveler.
later.
Hey man,
Um,
Tom and Tristan travel a lot too, and back and forth to each other.
True. But yeah,
If
so
that counts.
talk to us about your most recent travel, frequently, like the most recent one.
Well, I mean,
Hmm.
most recent would be California, but if you're talking international,
Yeah, give me
We're
international.
talking about lady boys in Thailand, is what I think we're getting to.
no, that was
No.
a long time ago,
Yeah, let's
though.
talk
Oh,
about most
oh,
recent.
Most recent was Ireland, which was
oh,
March of last year.
Okay.
It's been almost a year since then. Holy crap!
oh, dang, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Um,
Um,
Drink some good beers or some good
no, but I
liquor.
had the best gin and tonics of my life.
Yeah, I
really?
guess that's more of a liquor
Yeah,
place.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not really a
Mm.
big beer drinker. I mean, really, they drink Guinness, so you can get that here. So I don't really care about that so much. But they have a lot of really like state of the art. I didn't know this until I went there because I love gin and tonics, but apparently they're world famous for that. Didn't know
Mm.
that, but I found that out and it was awesome. But
That was the first. Well, anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so
um,
what was your favorite part about Ireland? Because I really do want to touch on all your most recent travels.
favorite part of Ireland was it was the castles, man. It was the castles. I mean, we got to tour the castle that Braveheart was filmed at,
Oh, really?
which is Trim Castle, which is
Oh,
about right
classic.
in the center of Ireland, in this little town called Trim. Um,
Hmm.
it's just it's so weird to me, and it especially someone from the U.S. because you don't see that stuff here, but um, just going out there and seeing like the regular city life just right next to an old castle
Hmm.
that's like over 1,000 years old. It's just it's gorgeous, and it's just
That's
crazy to
yeah,
me.
it's
That's awesome.
cool. You
Yeah.
saw Trim Castle, but did you see Landing Strip Castle?
Moving on. Um, do you have any? Yeah, I'm looking at a video of it right now. I have it on my screen. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
I'm
actually.
watching that.
Now, any funny moments that happened in Ireland?
The funniest moment that happened in Ireland was my last day there, and we were in this town called Galway, and I had taken a bus tour there from Dublin because I was staying in Dublin,
Mm-hmm.
and um, then so we were supposed to meet up at this. We were supposed to go off on our own separate ways for I don't know 2-3 hours, whatever, and then
Mhm.
meet up at the city center or wherever it was at 3 hours from now. So
Yeah.
I'm like exploring on my own little merry way, just going to all the shops and seeing all the stuff. And I look up my phone and it's like almost time for me to get back to my spot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh crap, I gotta get back there. So I like make my way back and I couldn't find where I was supposed to go to meet the bus to take me back to my hostel, and I was flying out the next morning, so I really wanted to.
Right.
And so I
Yeah.
get there, and I finally get to where it's supposed to be, and it's like 10 minutes past the time, and they're gone.
Oh man.
Oh,
They're
dang.
gone. So I'm like, I don't know, 4 hours south of where I'm supposed to be, and
Really? That far? Wow.
it's yeah. So I'm like, Dublin is up towards the top of Ireland, kind of,
Mhm.
and Galway is down pretty far. Well, it's actually across, but I think it's across. Yeah, it's across. So anyway, it was far away, but I I'm like, okay, I'm like freaking out because
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world because it's a first world country and everyone speaks English, whatever. But I'm like freaking out
Is
because
Uber a thing there?
no,
Ooh.
Uber's not really a thing. So I like
Okay.
book it to a bus station, and like I I mean, it ended up being okay because I just like bought the first ticket that was out to Dublin, which was in a couple hours. So I just kind of wandered around a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Got back to Dublin. I was still a little just shaken up because I was like,
I would be scared. I would have been
I was
terrified.
scared,
Yeah.
man. It's scary being alone in a foreign
Right.
country and just left, just
Right.
left.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Right.
Um, and so I get back, and that's when I go to the first pub I find and just drain a couple gin and tonics, and
He says
it was a good time.
necessary. Okay, now take me back to one before that. Was that Iceland?
Iceland, which was my least favorite,
Least favorite
honestly.
of the trips. Okay.
Because there was no ice.
There was ice. There's
No.
glaciers and fun
Now
stuff.
tell me what is the most famous museum there? Tell me through that.
It is the what's the scientific word, like the
You can
phallologic.
you
It's the
can
penis museum,
yes.
Yeah.
but it has on display a lot of cool stuff like whale
Penises.
dicks and goat penises.
Mm-hmm.
Basically
Right.
every animal you could think of. I think it even had like a beetle penis or some weird
Really?
stuff like
Like
Dang.
that.
that's like actually
Uh,
so funny. I always see a picture of that on like Twitter sometimes.
Did
yeah,
you eat
and you
at the
can just
buffet at the end? I heard they had a mystery meat.
yeah,
They
it was
said
pretty good.
the
Sausages, man.
wiener of the
Pigs
week.
Hot
in
dogs.
pigs in a
WW.
Yeah.
blanket.
Wieners
But
of the week.
the funny thing is you get to the end of the museum and you're like, okay, I've seen a lot of penises. Cool. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of done with this.
And then they give you a
But you
mirror to show your own.
exactly. No, they rate yours.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Wait,
And
what?
if it meets all the criteria, they put it in the museum.
I love that.
Not
They take
not actually.
they take a mold.
They don't actually.
They
Yeah.
they cut it
But
off. Yeah.
it actually has a jar with the creator of the museum's penis in it. Just
Mhm.
floating
Oh.
around at the end. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That's not the word I might have used, but yeah, it's pretty rad.
James, we're running out of time, but I want to touch on Thailand because I know you got some funny stuff that happened in Thailand. I
All
don't
right.
Some
know.
good massages.
We'll wrap up. We'll wrap that up real quick. So Thailand, which is where I went in 2016, is by far my most favorite. And the country we're missing is Morocco, which is also really cool. Really recommend you guys go spend a night in the Sahara. It's a great time. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thailand is by far my absolute favorite country I've ever been to in my life. Let's see. Where do I even start? I'm going to try to think. I'm going to finish this in like 3 minutes. So,
You're good.
Gotcha.
first off, I mean, the people are super friendly. They're awesome. Most of them speak pretty good English, and the ones that don't,
Yeah.
still make an effort.
Right.
The temples are just out of this world. I mean, they're like gold and silver plated with these dragons designed in them and stuff like
Cool.
that. We even
Sick.
wandered by this monastery and walked in, and there's these monks in there like teaching their little monk uh, prodigies, I guess, whatever you call them, like silversmithing in the courtyard, just in front of everyone.
Uh-huh.
Hammering out plates of silver into these cool designs and stuff, and just getting to see that was so cool. You don't see that stuff here, so
Yeah.
just the traditional way of life. And Thailand's like, I guess it's considered third world or whatever, but I mean they're pretty advanced. Um, so I mean to see all like the skyscrapers and stuff right next to these ancient temples is just it's the same feeling you
Mm-hmm.
get in Ireland with the
Yeah.
castles, but there's a little more flavor to the Thailand stuff. But
Of course. Yeah.
um, nightlife is really cool. I mean, you can wander around from bar to bar. I mean, we never got super drunk just because I didn't feel 100% safe. But I mean,
Safe. Yeah.
we wandered around, and I mean, I would go off for hours and just go wander and wander and wander. Um, it's true. There's a lot of ladyboys in Thailand.
Yeah.
They look
But hey,
kind
they
of
weren't half bad though, huh?
they look attractive from far, and then you get close and you realize something's a little off, and then they start growling
You
at
know,
you.
you notice
They actually growl at
Growling.
you, and they try to
The
purr at
heck?
you and like grab you. Like I'll walk down the street basically, and they'll like
Got spanked.
reach out, like they'll like reach out and like try to attack you. It's crazy.
Now,
Dang.
did you perhaps
Yes.
stumble across like a fighting something in Thailand, or am I messing up my
Oh,
stories?
yes. Yeah. I forgot about that story. So there's this there was this bar, or I don't even know what you'd call it, but it's like this ring of bars. I've never even seen anything like it here, but it's like you
Mm-hmm.
go inside and it's like this half circle, and like there's maybe 6 bars like positioned throughout it. And in the middle of the circle, there's like this curtain, that goes around in the
Yeah.
middle, and you obviously you can't get in, but there's some funny stuff going on in there. So we
Yeah. Of
asked
course.
we asked the people at the front, can we go into see what's going on, and they said no. So I'm thinking, okay, this is some wild Thailand crazy stuff. Like
Yeah.
someone's either like some weird like sex thing. I don't know. I was really curious to find out. So I mean, everything's cheap in Thailand, so we pay the really cheap entrance fee, and we go up there. Honestly, like when I first thought about this, it was kind of funny, but it's actually really not, because
Mm-hmm.
we go up there, and like the crowd is like cheering and stuff, and it's like all like Europeans and
Dang.
stuff, and it's
Yeah.
these two guys like beating the crap out of each other, like just beating the crap out of each other.
That's so
But
scary,
eh,
actually.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing like just regular boxing. Like these guys are just going to town. But
Yeah.
like I'm looking, and they look like they're like 14 years old.
No,
I
they
don't know
probably
if
were.
I don't know if they were kids. I don't
Right.
know if they were just like, maybe that's the type of fighting that's good in Thailand, is like small men. I don't know,
Children.
but
Yeah.
they looked like kids, and it was
Mhm.
really really sad. So we just kind of
Yeah.
booked it out of there. I
How
don't know.
how much
I,
money did
I
you put
wanted
on
to.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to
didn't
ask
bet on
you.
that.
I wanted to ask you, James. Have you ever been to the Thai temple in Tampa?
Yes, Wat Mongolakaram or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah, that place is pretty
they have
cool because
such good
it's run
food.
by monks and the food is great, dude. They
What
have
type
some
of
great
food?
plantains.
Oh, I
That's how
love
This is all
plantains.
Thai food. It's all Thai
that's how
food.
all the food is in actual Thailand too.
I
That's
hear
the
it's
only
super
place you
cheap
can
there
find
too.
here.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. And it's all run by monks.
No, but
yeah.
I'm talking in Thailand. How cheap was the food, Jake?
Oh,
Oh God, I could get a full meal for like $2. Like
That's awesome.
street food was like $2, and that was the best. If you go to a restaurant, it's a little more, maybe $3, $4, $5, but it's not
That's
even as
great.
good
hey,
as street
I
more
food.
money for
love
the
it.
lady boys.
Stop.
Who knows, man? I didn't
Oh,
quite
you
get
do,
that
but
far.
anyway,
All right. I think we need to wrap it up, James. I just want to thank you for being a guest on
Hey,
here. It was
yeah,
thanks for
man.
having
awesome to
me.
Thanks
have
for being
you.
our
Great
first guest,
to
dude.
great to be on the show, man.
Hey,
I've thought about this before actually, so
cool,
it's good to
yeah.
be.
Well,
I mean,
we
you were the first person we thought of for a guest, so
no,
we
yeah.
both agreed it had to be you because you have an interesting life, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
Appreciate
we
that,
would love to
boys.
have you back on in the future. We'll be in contact about that. But
Mm-hmm.
thank you for coming
Jake,
on.
good to see you. I don't see you with
Yeah,
on our weekly boys night, so it's good to see you.
I know, man. Schedule doesn't mesh with Mondays.
Yeah. All right,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks for hopping in,
All
dude.
right, later, brother.
Yeah.
Peace, dude.
Bye.
So let's just wrap up. I just want to
Yeah,
thank
man.
everyone for coming today.
Hey,
was quite a
9
success.
viewers. That's definitely better than I could have ever thought we'd get on the first episode.
No, absolutely. And just to let you, we are going to be here every week, every Tuesday around the same time, right around like
Hmm.
8:45 area, 8:50, 9
Yep.
o'clock. Next week, let's announce the guest. I don't even know if our one guest is aware yet, or if your guest is aware. It's a double feature, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so I plan on having Woe_CS on next week if he is
Yep.
available. I believe he is.
Tommy.
And you're who are you bringing on?
I've told him and he's totally down for it. My brother Bryce.
Okay, that's
Not
awesome.
actually my real brother, but yeah, because we got some cool topics I want to talk about next week, and I think both those guests have a
Have it
lot
in
more in common
common.
than they think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
for
can't wait to
sure.
kind of bring him on and have him converse about it. And I kind of
Mm-hmm.
dabbled in the subject as well. We're gonna leave that up to mystery, but
Mm-hmm.
very very excited about it. I believe this was a big success, and I'm glad to be
For
doing
sure,
this.
yeah. If you're watching on YouTube right now after the fact, make sure you subscribe and drop a like.
Yep,
If you're
this would.
watching on Twitch, make sure you're here next week for it to be live.
Yeah, so like we said, live on Twitch every Tuesday at like 9:45. I mean 8:45, 8:50, and then Jake will be
Mm-hmm.
uploading it to YouTube within
Yeah,
a certain amount of time, probably by
gotcha.
today or tomorrow. So,
For sure, yeah.
but thanks everybody for coming out, and see you next time.
Mm-hmm. Later, guys.
Peace.